Crowdproperty.
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 Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty.
Crowdproperty.
Crowdproperty.
Crowdproperty.
Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty. On Crowdproperty.
Hi, it's Mo and welcome back to the property vlog. As you probably guessed it, this week we're talking all about Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty are a peer-to-peer lending platform that provide finance for a wide range of property deals. Here's a short clip from their 2020 year in review video to give you a bit more of a flavour. At KHP, we've been working with Crowdproperty for about 5 years now. In total, we've borrowed around about £6 million across 5 projects, and we're incredibly proud to be one of the top 5 borrowers on their platform. The projects we've funded on the Crowdproperty platform are Kingsley House in Saltash in Cornwall. We borrowed about £600,000 for this project, and this one was a conversion of a former care home into 10 apartments. Wyndham Hall in Plymouth, where we raised just over £1 million for the project to convert a former non-conformist chapel into 30 high-end HMO rooms split across 6 flats. The Orchard House in Crediton, where we borrowed £1.8 million, and that was to convert a former care home into 22 high-end apartments. Regent House in Plymouth, which is one of the projects we're currently on site at. This is the conversion of a former 32-bed student property, all one big property that we're splitting back into 3 8-beds and a 9-bed for working professionals in Plymouth, and the raise on Crowdproperty is currently just over £1 million for that one. Oystercatcher Court in Maidencombe. We finished on site, the sales are going really well, and we've currently got about £1.35 million borrowed on that one from the Crowdproperty platform. In total, we've paid back about £3.5 million across the first 3 projects we've completed with Crowdproperty, and we've got about £2.5 million currently drawn down across Regent House and Oystercatcher Court. Trinity House will be our next project on the platform at nearly £2.5 million, and later this year our new project will be coming to the platform, which is in Exeter, and that will be about £4.5 million raised. So that's all well and good, but what actually is Crowdproperty and how does it work? Here are a few quickfire questions and answers. So you start off with an initial raise on the platform where you present your team, the deal and the numbers, etc. Investors then pledge their money and follow up with depositing the money with Crowdproperty. Crowdproperty will lend you, say, 70% of the purchase price, and then you as the developer and your investors will put in 30% of the purchase price. And Crowdproperty take the first legal charge. As you spend money on the project, you then apply to be reimbursed for this money effectively out of your Crowdproperty wallet, which is the money that you've raised from the investors. So you spend some money on construction works, you then come and get those works valued, and you're then able to draw down the money from Crowdproperty. In terms of how much it costs, you'll pay an interest rate on the borrowing, and there'll also be an arrangement fee, some legals, and you also have to pay for the valuations each time you draw down some of the money. Speak to the guys at Crowdproperty to get a tailored quote for your specific project. It's very easy working with Crowdproperty. They're property people, they are current and former developers, so they really understand property projects, they understand the team of specialists you need behind you, and they're really supportive. Before you actually get your project to go on the platform, they will have looked through your business plan and looked through your numbers to make sure that it all stacks up, and ask you any questions and really help you to build the business case before you take it to the platform. There is always paperwork, unfortunately. It's not something we can get away from. It is part of the due diligence that any lenders have to do on you, your team and your projects. But what we found is that the level of paperwork and information that we have to provide to Crowdproperty is much less than typical sort of traditional bank lenders. The information is also much more targeted on what really matters in terms of what drives project success. Here's a little clip from a video in 2017 when I summed up the position on how easy it is to work with Crowdproperty and how much information they need.
They only ask the details that they need to know, whereas sometimes with banks, they want to know what you had for dinner and things like that. So it's really easy to work with Crowdproperty.
A good benchmark for the amount of money that you can borrow from Crowdproperty is typically 70% of the purchase price and then up to 100% of the development costs. There are some exclusions, and the best thing to do is just get in touch with Crowdproperty with your specific deal, and they can let you know what sort of loan to value they can give you on the lending. Crowdproperty don't currently lend on land or buildings without planning permission in place, but depending when you watch this video, they could have changed some of their products and introduced that. So best thing to do is to get in touch with them and see if it's something they can lend on your specific scenario. To get involved as a borrower, head to crowdproperty.com and fill in their simple one-page form on the website. And to get involved as a lender, head to crowdproperty.com and register your interests as a lender, and just fill in the registration page there. Hope that gives you an overview of working with Crowdproperty from a borrower's point of view. We haven't been paid to make this video, it's literally just talking from our own experience. We've had a really good experience working with Crowdproperty. It's been very easy, the drawdowns have been easy, and the projects have been really successful. So I'm just speaking from my own experience. Do get in touch with them if you're a lender or a borrower. Get in touch with them for more information. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and we'll see you next week.